Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about the point-slope form of a line. So the point-slope form is sort of like a simple formula that you can use to find the equation of a line. It's pretty straightforward. So if we look over here in the middle, I've sort of highlighted the formula. So it's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y will just remain put. You're not going to change the y. It just remains as it is, and it's just going to be a y. This x will also remain put. It's going to be the x variable in your equation. Now the only values that will change will be y1. So when you're using the point-slope form of a line, you're going to need to know two different sort of things. So first thing you're going to want to know is the slope. You need to know the slope of the line. Normally it's depicted by m, but you're going to need to know the slope of the line to write the equation in point-slope form. And you're also going to need to know one set of coordinates. So you're going to need to know one x value and the corresponding y value. And then you can find the point-slope form of a line. So let's go back to our equation over here. y1 will essentially just be the y value in your coordinate pair. And then m is obviously going to be your slope. You're just going to write your slope over there. And x1 is just going to be the x value in your coordinate pair. So that's all you need to know for point-slope form of a line. One thing you will need is your coordinates, and then you're going to need your slope. So you will need two things to find the equation of a line in point-slope form. Let's get into a couple of examples. So let's do a couple of examples. Over here at the top, our question says that m, which is the slope, is equal to 5, and our one coordinate pair is 1, 2. So let's reference the formula that I have over here in the top right corner, and let's substitute. So we know the y is going to remain the same. And for y1, we know that the y value of our coordinate is 2. And you're always going to want to reverse the sign. So since we have a positive 2, this is going to be negative 2. And this is equal to our slope, which is 5, times x minus our x value. Now in this case, our x is positive and it's 1. So we're going to change that to negative 1 when we're writing in the equation. Now all you've got to do is just simplify. So I'm going to expand the right hand side. So all I'm doing is I'm multiplying 5 into x and negative 1. And let's move this to the right. So now what I'm going to do is y equals 5x minus 5. And I'm going to move this 2 to the right, and I'm going to make it positive 2. And then I'm going to simplify this to 5x minus 3. So the final equation for a slope of m and the coordinate point 1, 2 will be y equals 5x minus 3. Now, if they ask for you to write this in point-slope form, this will be enough. So y minus 2 equals 5 times x minus 1. And if they don't ask you to specify it in this form, then this form will be enough. But if they ask you to simplify it completely, you're going to need to simplify completely, and you will find your equation like this. So let's do the next example as well. So they've given us that the slope is negative 1, and our coordinate point are negative 1, negative 2. So let's substitute our values. So y minus y1. Now, this is another important point to note. In this case, our values are negative. So our y value is negative 2. So when you're putting it in the equation, you're going to reverse the sign. So it's going to be positive 2. Our slope is negative 1. You don't reverse the sign of the slope. That just remains however it is. So then it's going to be x. And then we have our x value of negative 1. So it's going to be positive 1 because you're reversing the sign. Now let's expand on the right hand side as well. Again, all I'm doing is I'm just multiplying that negative 1 out. And then I'm going to transfer this 2 to the right hand side. So it's going to be negative 2. Let's move this up here. It's going to be y equals negative x minus 3. So your final equation will be negative x minus 3. Again, if they ask you for the point-slope form, this line here should be enough. So let's try a couple more examples. At the top here for number 3, we've given that the slope is equal to 16 and our coordinate point is 2, negative 4. So let's start substituting these values into the point-slope form, which you can find over here. So it's going to be y and then our y value. In this case, our y value is negative 4, so you're going to switch the sign to make it positive 4, is equal to 16, because m is the slope, 16 is the slope, times x, and in this case our x is positive 2, so we're going to write negative 2 over here. Now let's just expand this, so y plus 4 equals 16x minus 32. Again, all I'm doing is multiplying this 16. Let's move this to the right. It's going to become y equals 16x minus 32 minus 4. I'm just moving this 4 to the right hand side. And then our final equation will be y equals 16x minus 36. If you didn't understand the last part, just simplify it however you prefer to, rearranging linear equations. But you're going to end up with this. This will be your final equation of the line. Again, if they ask for in point slope form, then this section over here should be enough. Let's try our last example. We have that the slope is 4 and our coordinate point is -1, 3. So let's start substituting. Now we have y. Now we have to incorporate our y value. So 3 is our y value and it's positive, so we're going to have y minus 3 equals 4 is our slope times x minus x1. So we're going to do x plus 1 in this case because our x value is negative, so we're going to reverse the sign. Now we have y minus 3 equals 4x plus 4. I'm just distributing the 4 to both values. Now I'm going to rearrange this and I'm going to bring the 3 to the right hand side and it becomes positive when you're moving it to the right. And if you simplify that, you get y equals 4x plus 7. So this will be your final equation of the line.